Hello people, I am back again, this time with another Gran Turismo Sport video. You guessed it, it's more Group 4 races around that same track that, you know, the video I did yesterday was on. Yeah, Suzuka, yeah. But at least there's different cars. So here I am in the Ford Mustang Group 4, which kind of looks like the upcoming Mustang V8 supercar that's launching next year in the Supercars Championship. Kind of. I don't know what the final thing will look like, but I'm assuming it's going to look something like this, and the livery for this car is actually partially inspired by an FGX Falcon currently running in the Supercars Championship Series. So yeah, here it is, start of the first race. I qualified 7th, and I actually got a new best lap time, and I thought, oh, I did pretty good, but no, the game just slapped me down and said, no, you got 7th out of 13th, which I guess isn't so bad. I'm a midfielder. I don't know what the fuck happened to there. Oh, and a dude is just going to go drifting. He's going to go Eurobeat now. So now I've just taken 4th. I've gained 3 positions on the first corner alone. So it's always a good thing. So it's weird, because this car I thought actually was, you know, this and the next race are just examples that I really need to get over the American stereotype of American cars being poor handling, because the Mustang actually handles, sorry, I'm just itching my nose, handles actually quite well. It's actually quite a good handling car, and it's quick too. It's got power in it. I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was to drive in this game. It wasn't as easy to drive as, let's say, the Hurricane, but you know, it was pretty good anyway. Anyway, so there's a Japanese guy in the GDR. Quite fitting if you ask me, because the GDR is the quintessential car for the Japanese driver, in my opinion at least. I like Nissans, okay? Then again, I do like me a lot of Japanese cars, but then again, I also have a soft spot for American vehicles, as proven by this video alone. But yeah, we're entering that weird curve thing again, and nothing's really changed. I mean, there's a Japanese guy, there's an Indonesian, and there's an Australian in front of me, and I'm not gaining any distance on it because this car is not as quick as the Megane Trophy or the GDR apparently. Oh, and there goes the Mustang. There goes the, yep, okay. So he's just gone off, but he hasn't quit though. He's determined to keep going. This guy kind of went wide, but kind of took that line there. So I end up taking 4th and 3rd, and now I'm in 2nd. So that's, well, all things considered, that's quite a good first lap, really, because, I mean, how often can you say that you've gained 5 positions in 1 lap? Not very often. So here we go, we head into the S-curve here, and we're about to finish our first lap of Suzuka. And we're going to continue. We're just going to continue doing our thing, you see. It's going to be quite the chill race for the first half at least. There's not much really going to happen, except for the GDR that's less than half a second behind me and is actually kind of catching up. Kind of, I don't know. Looks like it. I don't know what I was doing there. I was trying to be careful there, but look, I honestly do not know. We're about to head into these corners again. I got to be very careful that I don't go wide, because as we learned from the first lap around this corner, a lot of people went wide and a lot of people lost a lot of positions. So it's never wise to go around that corner and at a dangerously high speed. And you gotta like make a fine balance. That's the biggest problem with this track. Yeah, as I said in my last video, the first half is all about making the fine balance. There we go, I got best in sector. Who would have thought? Actually, I got best in the entire race there. It's interesting. But yeah, you really got to strike the fine balance, but only in the second half can you really let loose on the throttle and just speed becomes key in the second half. So I just go around there. That was actually a good corner, actually. I just hit the apex nicely, and I got another best sector for the entire race. So that GDR actually ended up spinning wide before, but he's still in the top 8, and I go wide a bit here, but I just gun it here, because you can see this thing's got that much torque in it. You can just gun it on the straights, and you'll gain time over whoever's behind you, because you can just shoot off like a rocket. But this car is like a pocket rocket. It's got the initial wow factor, but then after a while you just kind of go, oh shit, this thing isn't that quick, isn't it? But you know, not all cars are the Renault Megane Trophy. I said the Menno. What's a Menno? But yeah, not all cars are the Renault Megane Trophy. There, that thing's got to, Oh, and actually I just realised, that's that Mustang you spun out. He's already back up in 3rd in 1 lap. I don't know if that says anything about the drivers in this lobby, or it just says to the potential skill that the guy has, but damn, I gotta say, he did pretty good. I think he was out of the top 8 at one point, now he's back. Shit, alright, so that's just throwing a spanner in the works. And then there's the Megane, the Indonesian in the Megane. and he's really slow for some reason. I think he's just, I don't know about you, but I think his indicator's on. He's fallen asleep at the wheel, I guess. Okay. So we've just pulled away, and I got fastest lap there, but then that was soon overtaken by the Mustang driver behind me. But yeah, it's now a 1-2 race for the Aussies in Mustangs. If this was in Falcons, this would be like, you know, the quintessential Aussie pride moment. Because, you know, 2 Australians in Australian cars dominating around Suzuka. Go figure. But no, we're driving American cars instead, so kind of, if I'm going to be honest here, we're kind of driving second best, so sorry Mustang fans, I just, XR8 Falcons, I'm sorry, I grew up on those. That's just how I feel about them. I just, yeah, I legit did grow up on them. So I'm in now, I've been in first for a better half of 30 seconds now. And I'm hoping I can keep the lead, although with the dude behind me, with how much position he gained in the last lap alone, he's already quickly caught up to me, so I don't think I'm actually going to hold this position for that long. But I don't really care, because I'm just more or less impressed by how good this driver is behind me. It's just like, wow. It's just wow. And he's got a really cool livery in his Mustang too. He's actually got a V8 Supercar livery on his Mustang. He has the Pepsi Max Crew Falcon from 2015, 2016. Although the number sticker on the side of the car has gotten in the way of the livery, so it's kind of tainted the livery, if I say so myself. So yeah, halfway through the third lap, he takes first, and I've now got to fight back for it. How am I going to fight back for it? With the hope that he spins out from the pressure I give him. The non-existent pressure, because I think he's just going to pull away at this point. Because he clearly knows what he's doing. He very clearly knows what he's doing. He's a badass driver. So now we're onto the straight, and there's a 4-second lead over third place. So this is pretty much a 1-2 Aussie domination. Like, the Indonesian dude is in 7th now, so there's a Hong Konger in 3rd now. So the race in the midfield has changed a lot, but in terms of front pack, it hasn't really changed as much. But this is some good racing, though, I gotta admit. I was really happy that these races happened, because it's just been, like, the community has gotten better. Like, sure, there are some bad batches in the community, but for the most part, it's actually become quite a good and respectable community. And once you get past about C or even B, you do find better quality races, and you do find just races are more intense, and, you know, you feel like you're on more even ground rather than it being some drongo spinning out and crashing into a wall, or just ramming into and using you as a bumper car to try to get around a corner at a good speed. So you find that a lot less. And as of the end of this race, I think I was at C for drivership rating and S for sportsmanship rating, but my highest was A and S, so I'm not quite there, but I do plan on getting to maybe AA and just kind of being comfortable there, because I want to stay in a lobby with good drivers. I don't want to go back down to like DE like I did after I just got fed up with the game and its penalty system last time, which was back in May, and I ended up having to deal with a lot of shit races for a while there. But now that this is, yeah, I just, like, no thanks, please don't take me back there. Because if it'll drag me back there kicking and screaming, I'll say that much. So about that intimidation tactic for the dude in the Mustang here in front of me, that didn't quite work. So he's actually gained more time ahead of me, but I've also gained more time on 3rd place, I think. I can't really see it from the viewfinder, but as a result, this is a pretty set in stone race, barring any colossal fuck up, which, you know, from yesterday's video, that is going to happen at some point. I don't know if it happens in this video, but, you know, you never know. You never know with Gran Turismo. It was actually funny. I had a friend of mine try this game yesterday. He came over and wanted to play some driving games on my PlayStation 4. And he ended up playing Gran Turismo, and he just couldn't get the hang of it, because he just couldn't stand the driving physics. I'm just having a look and see if my game's still there. It is. Yeah, I always like checking if my games are still there. I don't know why. I'm a bit of a paranoid fuck, eh? He also loves putting these videos on repeats, so if he's watching this video, hi, you know who you are. Alright, so we're about to cross the line in 2nd, and that's a pretty respectable race, actually. It was pretty solid finish. You can see there, all for yourself, that yes, indeed, it was a 2nd place finish, and I went up 5 positions tonight. That was my 4th clean race in a row. Go figure. So here's another race. This time I'm driving the SRT Viper, or the Dodge Viper. I don't know. It depends on what year this model Viper is specifically. But yeah, I've done my own livery. I call this one the Bowie Viper. because it has a mural of David Bowie on the bonnet, so it's the Bowie Viper. It really is. It sounds stupid, but I don't know why I had my warning lights on, but I did. And I ended up doing a 211.8 in the Viper around Suzuka, so I was really happy with that. And I'm already gaining a place alone from just speed. I just left the Subaru for dead, and I got shunted from behind by the aforementioned Subaru. And there's a couple of Meganes just fishtailing wildly because they can. They just do that. Meganes just fishtail. I guess that's just a quality. That's just a feature of them. So here we go. The Subaru driver's gone a bit wide after shunting me in the rear end on the first corner, but there are still people pretty close behind me. There's the Kiwi behind me and the Ferrari. I believe it's the Kiwi and the Ferrari. But there's also a Hurricane and a Megane in front of me. Two Japanese drivers. Yep, there's the Kiwi and the Ferrari. It's always good to see drivers from New Zealand because you don't see them that often, because even though it is Sony land over there, you don't see many Kiwis online. Well, I mean, actually, the only games you see Kiwis playing online are either Rainbow Six Siege, this, or Fortnite. So, I don't see them that often because I don't play those games as often as other games, but I do play these games regularly. I mean, shit, this is my most played PlayStation 4 game. Last time I checked, I was at 85 hours in Gran Turismo Sport. Think about it, I've done 85 hours of GT Sport and I've only won 2 races. Yeah, that's, kind of sad, but that's what happens when you go into a Gran Turismo game. Because seriously, the last Gran Turismo game I played before this was 4. Actually, no, sorry, I lied. It was the PSP game. Oh, and there goes the Megane. He's gone a bit wide. Oh, and he's just decided he'd rejoin. I mean, he didn't rejoin in the worst of ways, but I felt like he could have done just a little bit better there. So, yeah, it's just as it is there. You get to see the beautiful in-car cams. I love the in-car cams in this game. They're so well done. Seriously, the detail in the cars in this game is ridiculous. There's some really nicely done cars, and it's look, as much as a lot of people didn't like how there was a shortage of cars in this game at first, he's gone wide again. I just really like the attention to detail that they put towards the vehicles in this game, and the fact that this game runs at 60 FPS. I'm not sure if it's locked, but runs well enough for me. I don't really notice it. Oh, and the Megane fishtailed again. That's what, 5 times in a lap? Good job, buddy. So I cross into the second lap in a respectable 3rd place with a 1 nearly 2 second gap, or about 1.5 second gap ahead of the Kiwi and the Ferrari, who also seems to be quite the competent driver. So here we go, around the corner we go, and nothing interesting happens. Again, yeah, I fly off into space, and the Viper becomes the first Dodge Viper to land on Mars. That's a true story. It happens. You don't believe me? Watch till the end of this curve. It happens. Just get ready for it. It's gonna happen. Oh, I got best in sector. Ha! Got you there. Didn't happen. Just pranked you. How do you feel about that, huh? You're gonna click off. Oh, I think someone left the race. Some poor sod left the race. Poor sod. Probably got spun off. That's the primary factor as to why people leave races in this game. Oh, and the Megane's fishtailed again. Fishtailing Meganes, eh? God, you'd think from all the Meganes fishtailing around the place in these races, you'd think they'd be fish out of water, but they're not. Oh, and he's just bumped me. He didn't see me oncoming. I dive bombed and yeah. But I've taken second. And I didn't get a penalty for that either, curiously enough, so, I mean, I'll take it, but I feel like I should have gotten at least a 1 second penalty out of that, but yeah, can't you tell this penalty system's a tad bit fucked? Like, don't get me wrong, the fact it's there has made the quality of racing in this game a lot higher, but I'm not going to look behind me. I think that Ferrari's gone wide. Apparently not, because he's still in 4th, unless the gap was so far ahead that it didn't really bother him if he went off. Oh, and, well, again, nothing happens. We're going to cross the 130R, see if I can cross it at a good speed. I've been meaning to try and get this corner right. Oh, I actually crossed that at not a bad speed, because usually I struggle to get it anywhere faster than about 115 miles per hour, but to get it there at about 120 was an improvement. Oh, and my brakes are gone. Oh, and we bumped each other. Oh, he bumped me again. Oh, and I'm getting shunted, and I didn't get a penalty for that, somehow. I did not get a penalty for that, and what's this guy going to do? Oh, he brake tested me. Nice job, buddy. I really appreciate the brake testing, but the joke's on you. You've just gone back into 5th. So I've now got 1st. So that's good. That's the second time I've got 1st this video. I'm improving as a driver. Go figure. Who would have thought? Improvement comes from playing the game. Go figure. Oh, and the Megane's already up my backside. He's going a bit wide. Oh, and he bumped into me. Well, I think we bumped into each other actually, but this is close. I think he just flashed his lights at me. You see, when you flash your blinkers at someone, it's a sign of you're a try-hard idiot who is not happy that you're behind another car. So I feel like I should just have, please no Punterino on the back of my car. Just, shit, that's probably asking to be hit in the back, but I guess it's better than nothing. I guess it's better than having Group 4, Red Bull, and Pirelli on the back of my car. Oh, and Supercars Championship. I did that as like a mini throwback because, you know, it's Australian Supercars Championship. Even though Dodge... oh, actually, no. The Valiant, which was Chrysler. Dodge is part of Chrysler, yeah. I believe so. Yes, they are. Why did I forget that? Why? Why? God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, so, yeah, they technically were with the Valiant, which was Australian built. Yeah, I found out about that recently. So Chrysler had a plant in Australia and they built the Valiant, the Charger Valiant. And it's rather famously known by people around my dad's age for having the ads that go, Charger! Like with a really Australian accent. So a lot of Americans probably would love it, but I'd personally hate it. But yeah, the adverts were quite catchy and quite memorable. And I think it boosted car sales for a while there. But anyway, so when Chrysler quit manufacturing here, they didn't fold, but they just pulled in manufacturing operations. Mitsubishi bought the plant, and as a result we got the cars like the Mitsubishi Magna, and then very later on in the cycle we got the 380, which only lasted for about 4 years before Mitsubishi ceased their operating plants. So yeah, that's a little bit of Australian motoring history for you. Just a little bit there. That'll be $7.50 on my Patreon, my non-existent Patreon account. Thank you. I'll be waiting for that in the next year or so. Or if I hit 700 subscribers by the end of the week, neither of which will happen. So, look at me, I'm being self-aware. Go figure. So this is the final lap, and another dude's left the race. It's now just a 12-car race. You know, no big deal, I guess. And that Megane is still right up my backside. In fact, he's in a similar position to what he was last lap, except this time, he's really not happy that I'm in first. Meanwhile, he's gonna take me here because I just simply can't out-corner him. Because if I out-corner him, I will probably spin out. However, I can't keep pressure on him because this car is competitive speed-wise. Not so much cornering-wise, but it is speed-wise, so I can at least keep within 2 seconds. If I can keep within 2 seconds, I'm doing fine. So, actually, I think it was the Japanese dude in the Hurricane who ended up leaving, actually, because he's not even in the top 8 anymore. I honestly don't know, but the Kiwi and the Ferrari is now in 3rd, so he's had a good race. Oh, and the Megane's just spit off in outer space, but it hit them. Okay, I don't get that. Maybe it's the Gran Turismo Sport thing where they've made the Megane trophy actually go faster off-road. Maybe they're trying to subtly encourage Group B racing in Group 4. Me thinks that's the case, but I could be wrong. You know, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories floating around. Speaking of which, why are there Group B cars in Gran Turismo Sport? They're only there for the campaign, because I've never, ever seen them in an online lobby. And I don't think anyone would join a Group B online lobby. Because it's just boring. The cars are like trying to slide butter on a, like, you know, if you're trying to keep butter in one spot, but you've got your frying pan on, you slipped a bit of butter and then you're trying to pick it up, but it's sliding around the place and melting. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, that's Group B in a nutshell. It really sucks. Rallying in Gran Turismo Sport sucks. Why do they keep putting it in Gran Turismo? Because the only games that should do rally is the Dirt Series. I played WRC 7 and it sucked. So anyway, it looks like I'm about to get second, which, you know, I fought hard, but unfortunately the Megane fought harder. Unfortunately though, he has a penalty, so I don't know what his penalty is, but he's slowed down before the finish line. But I ended up just taking first, because fuck him, I guess. And he did save his penalty, but I bet him by 0.00417th of a second. So that's my second victory, ladies and gentlemen, and my first in a non-European car. Well, I mean, I only have 2, so I can't really say it's like a, you know, historical moment, but kind of is. But my first victory was in the TT, and then the second one is in a Viper. So that's quite the difference. But yeah, that's basically the end of this video. I know I'm kind of ripping off Super GT and stuff like that with these video formats, but these are fun to do. These are really fun to do because you get good races sometimes and you want to do a video on them. I completely understand why he does so many GT Sport videos. But anyway, folks, that's basically the end of this video. There's the victory screen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and see you later.